The podcast you are about to listen to is one of the many podcasts that is part of the College Huddle, the largest fan-led college sports podcast community on the internet. Fan-made, fan-driven, and fan-fueled. The College Huddle.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free!
Okay, next question.
I'm a horse football coach right now.
You know, it got shoved right?
What is up, Spartan fans? It is the Spartan Savants podcast coming to you with episode 32. I'm of course joined by Nikki and Trav. We unfortunately are doing our first show this year following a Michigan State loss. Lots to unpack there. Certainly some airing of grievances, some positives to take away, of course. But I know we're all anxious to talk about that. We'll get into a little bit of the OSU preview. We've got a special episode coming out this week with our friends from the OHIO podcast previewing that game. We'll get into that a little bit. Then we'll, of course, have Miss the Vis, and then we'll get into the picks. But how are we feeling, guys? Nikki, I know that was a tough one for all of us. Nikki, where's your head at after the Boston College letdown?
Guess we're on to OSU.
Yeah,
a real heartwarming one there. I know at least I wasn't at the game, like one of our team colleagues. I do have to say, I do know we're playing at Madison Square Garden, Rutgers. I think you may have to stay 500 feet away from that at all times. I might get a restraining order for that.
That's fair.
You need to lay low on the East Coast when it comes to Michigan State games.
That's fair. I put my legacy on the line, and you know what? I really thought we had it.
Most of us thought we had it.
Yeah, Trev, where's your head at?
Yeah, I mean, positives, negatives, but season keeps going on. We knew this was going to be a tough game. We knew there was going to be a loss somewhere along the line. It just wasn't the year to go undefeated. So, yeah, I can't remember. Did you guys have us? I think I had picked 4-0 to start the season. Did you guys? I did too. I did too. Yeah, I was very confident.
Yeah. I think all things considered, a lot of Spartans fans would be happy with. If you told us at the beginning of the season you're going to lock in 3-1, we'd all be pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, you're smashing the button right there.
Yeah. One positive, 3 penalties for 25 yards.
I wanted to say in the OSU preview, when we were talking to Chris, he talked about penalties, how they average 58 penalties, and how that's like a big struggle. And I was like, I would kill someone.
Yeah. He said they get 52 penalty yards a game. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think even with last game, we're probably averaging well over that. But
probably twice, maybe even 3 times.
Yeah, that was nice to see. I mean, I guess where do you guys want to start? I mean, there's so much to get into. I think from a perspective of just like what happened, I don't even know where to begin.
Well, he set the scene. You're in Boston.
Yes.
Set the scene for us. The entire atmosphere. Just give us the rundown.
Sure, yeah, that's a great place to start. So let me start off with saying Boston College Stadium, I thought from a viewing experience, I thought was great. It helped that our seats were really good, but it's a small enough stadium. It's very intimate, so it gets like it's not deafening, but the sound is legitimate. It holds its own there, I think. The fans, I thought, were very passionate. I was a little bit surprised with the passion from the fans on the Boston College side. Pretty good turnout, obviously, the red bandana game. But let me tell you, getting around that stadium was such a pain in the ass. Like, it's, first of all, you enter through like the volleyball arena, which is so weird. and then you just go into it's just this big circle, and there's really no like. I don't think that it's really used to holding that many fans. Jeez, sorry. It's really used to holding that many fans because like there was just nowhere you couldn't get anywhere quickly, and like it was just people walking in this big circle. Like there wasn't like signs like, oh, this section, like it wasn't very well signed, but getting anywhere just took a while. The beer, pretty inexpensive. Did not get a chance to try the meatball in a cup, unfortunately. It just was so hard to get around. I had no idea where it was. But the barbecue was right outside our section. I was able to try the macaroni and cheese. I'm happy to report it was very good for stadium macaroni and cheese. Definitely like a B plus, A minus macaroni and cheese. But you know, it rained like you wouldn't believe, pretty consistent the entire time. It was great to see the fellas in all green. Some of the plays that Aiden Childs made, I thought were just so incredible. It's just, but overall, Boston College, I thought they held their own. Definitely was a lot of Spartans though, a lot of Spartan fans. I think you could probably hear the cheering through the broadcast. Definitely a good, solid Michigan State crowd. Spartans fans should be proud of the turnout there. Too bad we just couldn't will the team to victory.
Yeah. I mean, I have a list of things I can go over.
Well, take it away.
Jump in, yeah.
So look, start with the good. So honestly, I mean this in a good way for how we played. Like I was in a great mood the entire game. I really felt it felt like we controlled the game. Like I was never nervous, even when we were down by 3. Like it just felt like we were going to put it away. Like even before the incident in the last 40 seconds, I was like, we can make a drive and win. Like I don't think it's guaranteed, but why not? Like we're looking good. We're driving it down. Childs on his feet looked so great.
Man, yeah.
That arm challenge looking good. To be in the position we were in, down four receivers, like Child was only throwing to AZ and Foster because like everyone else just walk on, like just not there. Like that's not bad. No season-ending injuries. That was good too. We were saying penalties were great. If we can keep the penalties how they are, I like the quest to 6 wins more. If we can keep them to around that 50 or so, I know we had less than that, but if we can keep them to 50 or so per game, no complaints there. All right, so the bad. Aiden Childs' turnovers were frustrating, but that's kind of the thing I'm worried the least about because either like he gets like seems like he was almost our entire offense at times. I mean, our O-line we don't have a run game. Nate Carter had 9 carries for 9 yards. Like, what else can he do? Like, Childs can throw deep balls better, make shorter balls better, like make a little better decisions. But like when he's the entire offense, like, those throws are gonna happen. Like he's gonna feel like he has the world on his shoulders and he has to win the game for us. And just the O-line, the run game, that's just gonna be the issue. Good news though, our defense looks great.
Yeah, I thought they answered the bell. I thought if the game plan was to make him beat you, him being Castellanos, they did a fantastic job. I mean, they made it. He was not comfortable the entire night.
Even that last throw, Gross fell down. Otherwise, otherwise those guys are in a decent position. And that 4th and goal, the goal line stand. I mean, holy shit!
That was incredible.
We've been waiting years for something like that to happen again.
Yeah.
Jordan Hall just came off like a freaking beast off the edge.
Wasn't
awesome. Letting Castellanos go. That was perfect. And then to answer that with a scoring drive, from the 2-yard line. I mean, I would have loved for that to be a touchdown. Should have been a touchdown a couple times, but it's and with Childs, the turnovers we figured were going to happen eventually, but we kind of thought they would be like stupid freshman, inexperienced mistakes. And I'm like, yeah, he's a sophomore, but same point. A lot of these though are like inaccurate passes. They're just he's behind a guy, he's overthrowing a guy. Obviously, there's a lot on his shoulders in that game, but there were 3 or 4, maybe 5 times he missed an open receiver for a touchdown, and that started driving me crazy. But I'm not going to, obviously, it's not all on him. You had K'Ron Lynch-Adams fumble that ball at the start of the second half. That's when things started going the opposite direction, and we had a chance to go up by a lot at that point, and basically put the game away early by the way it was going. But it's avoidable mistakes beat us, and that's just what happens with the growing team, young team.
Yeah, if you guys made a lot of hit on everything I would have said. I think Nick, great point on Childs. You were so right that it basically was the entire offense, especially with the way the run game's been going. Velling, I thought, had his best game to date. Like you said, it's a lot to ask of a sophomore quarterback that's making his is starting is his first year starting. So, and with that, to have 4 wide receivers down, you really have to. There was a lot of pressure on him, and he carried the offense quite a bit. Some of the plays he made with his feet, I just thought were so impressive. I thought kind of a coming out party in terms of what he's truly able to do on the ground. I'd like to see the coaching staff get him a little more designed runs, maybe some zone reads, things like that. The passes, this was the first time I really thought, I think most of his interceptions have just been bad passes, like air mailed or throwing late over the middle. Not so much decision making, not setting his feet. This was kind of the first time where I was questioning some of the decisions. There were some bad passes mixed in though too. Obviously the last interception, you just have to live to see another down there. I don't know if it's tucking and running, throwing it away. Maybe he was trying to throw it away. I have no idea. I don't know. There was double coverage. You just got to live to see another down there. The one that he threw behind Velling, I don't know what happened. That to me just looked like a bad pass. Still on him. The other one, I thought Velling could have made a play on the ball. It was still into double coverage. I think their linebacker or DB or safety fell, and then there was a guy right behind him. I thought Velling could have made a play on the ball. Kind of had alligator arms, but still putting that one on Childs. The K'Ron Lynch-Adams fumble, it's like you said, Trev, we were getting the ball with a 6 or 7 point lead at the time. It felt like to go up 2 scores, whether it was 10 points or 14 points in that weather, would have been a lot to overcome the way our defense is playing. In that fumble, it just honestly, it felt like Rutgers all over again. It just felt like things were starting to tumble, and you could almost feel it slowly happening. But then the defense made some big stops. The offense answered, and like Nick said, I was never really worried until right at the end. Even at the end, we were driving. We had control of the drive. We had 2 timeouts. It's just
31-yard line. Yeah.
Tough to see him force that throw. One big takeaway I have, Jonathan Kim is the real deal. I think he's an NFL talent. I mean, you get on the plus side of the 50, you need 1 first down and you're within his range. I thought special team, honestly, I thought on all 3 facets, offense, defense, special teams, we outplayed them, which is what makes losing that game so much worse. The mistakes that we made were so killer. I mean, the turnovers
cost us the game.
Yeah. I think if you take away any one of those turnovers, there's a good chance we would have won. I was just going to say another thing. The time of possession we controlled. We were better on 3rd down. We outgained them by 70-plus yards. If you look at the stats, you would think Michigan State won that game. The defense, I thought, did such a phenomenal job containing that quarterback. I mean, they really made it tough for him all night long. He broke loose for a couple runs, but man, they contained him very well. So it really sucks to come away out of a loss after all that. The one thing I was saying it to Mikey and Truman as we were walking on the stadium, as weird as it sounds, that does make me feel. It makes me feel good about where the program is heading. I mean, that was a big game. It felt good to be in it again. We played a very good game. Just the mistakes that we made were so killer. But I have full faith in Jonathan Smith and where this coaching staff is taking us. Joe Rossi is proven to be a great hire because this defense is really it's kind of just formed together through transfer portals. There's a couple guys that stayed, but they've been unbelievable. They've been such a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, they look like they've been playing together for years, and it's just the first year together. I mean, it's awesome. I'm going to complain about one more thing here. The red zone offense. The red zone offense. We need score touchdowns.
Yeah.
Jonathan Kim, automatic kicker, basically, but he can't be the only guy putting points on the board.
Right.
That's
no question.
That we had drops in the end zone too. Carter could have caught that last pass easily.
Yeah, that was really tough.
That drove me nuts when I was rewatching the game.
Yeah, same here.
It was like, why am I putting myself through this again? But it's. I mean, one more touchdown, we're going to overtime. It's simple as that. It's.
Yep, I couldn't believe he dropped that. That was tough. I really think, and I know K'Ron Lynch-Adams had that terrible fumble. That's one I think you just got to take the knee in that weather, knowing that this drive could put us up 2 scores. But I feel like K'Ron Lynch-Adams is kind of emerging. At the very least, he's the hot hand right now. And I like Nate Carter, but I think that it's time to make a change and get in the most carries. And,
Nate is a newlywed. It's cool. You can chill. I get it.
Mm-hmm. So, go ahead, Nikki.
Just it just felt like a normal, really shitty loss. Not like extremely demoralizing. Why do I even watch football anymore? This sucks. Like the Mel Tucker losses. Like,
right.
Although I did wake up the next day, I kept looking at my phone, waiting for the outcome to change. Yeah. Like he didn't actually throw that interception, right? It's so annoying because we're that caught pass, that no fumble. We were one play away from this being just a sick, great mood. Aiden Childs is elite. There's such a slim margin for being great and losing. It's just kind of reminds me of 2012 where the inches were everywhere.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
2013 was a damn good year.
Yeah.
If this was like Ohio State instead of Boston College, I would be feeling even better.
Yeah. I think this. I've seen some of this Spartan fans calling for Schuster to come in. That's just ridiculous. I mean, what in mean, come on, let's be all real. The great part about Childs is that he's young. Yes, we're going to see games. This probably will not be the last time that he turns the ball over 3 times. Probably not going to be the last time.
Might not be the last time this week.
Right. Yes, correct. And one thing that we get with the young quarterback is we get him for extended time. So he's going to grow. There's going to be growing pains. So and you can see where the talent, I mean, it's just some of the plays he made were unbelievable. So any Spartan fans out there that are looking for a replacement at quarterback, we're going to make a change. That's ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah, and I like Tommy Schuster, but he doesn't win us Maryland. Mm-hmm. People are like, "Oh, we'd be 4-0 with Tommy Schuster." There's literally no reason to say that.
Yeah, he doesn't throw that rope to Marsh.
No. Yeah,
not at all.
No. Jeez, I mean, some of the deep passes that he missed on, when you're throwing that many deep passes, you're not going to hit on them all. But man, Foster was wide open several times. Just
some of them weren't even deep. Yeah,
I don't know if I feel like Foster and Childs, their chemistry's a little off.
Yeah,
because I feel like those wide open misses tend to happen to Montori I feel like Glover and Marsh tend to catch those.
Yeah. Yeah. Has there been any updates on the injury status for those guys?
So I think he said he would know on Thursday, but he expects it to be pretty similar to last week.
Oh,
Wonderful.
So maybe we get like
Wonderful.
Yeah. Great.
Woohoo! Best part of the schedule.
Yeah, and that's another part about this loss is just, you look at the next 4 games, it's just so brutal. I mean, I think Iowa and Michigan are a little more in
Winnable.
the realm of possibility of winning than we may have thought earlier. But I mean, the next 2 weeks, it's going to get to 3-3 pretty quickly here.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me is like, and we'll get into this more later, obviously, with Ohio State, but like just winning because we have Ohio State, then Oregon, then bye. Like winning just isn't on the menu for the next 3 weeks. Like, like we're just, like that's just if we were playing like a game that we actually could maybe win, like even if it was Michigan, like a bounce back rivalry, like, but it's like the next 2 weeks are like, oh, so we're just going to be in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Oregon on the road within 5 days. Come on, like
it's tough. We knew it would be this way. It's sucks. It was right there, and it was 4. We were staring 4-0 right in the face with. I mean that really. I still think 6-6 is the floor. I am hard. I have a hard time being convinced that we can't win 3 out of our next 8 games.
If you look at the
Purdue,
if you look at the schedule past the bye, basically is what I'm doing. You just got to win 3 games. Got to win half the games. Go 500.
Yep. And I think with our defense and Aiden Childs, totally doable. And that's the one thing about Childs is he has the talent to keep you in these games. I mean, without Childs at Boston College, we would have been in deep shit. I mean, he's the reason that we're in these games to begin with. So,
you take the good and the bad.
Yeah, no question about it. Anything else? Do we miss anything?
I mean, man, I just it's like I really wish we won that game.
Yep.
I honestly, is one that if you think about it, we turned the ball over 4 times, right? 4 times.
Yes.
Well, I had one of the keys to victory to win the turnover battle. We didn't even need to really win the turnover battle. If we just had 1 less turnover, I think there is a bright spot there that, despite all the mistakes and bad situations we put ourselves in, we were right there. And you're not going to, if you make those mistakes versus Ohio State and Oregon, you're not going to be right there.
Nope.
But I mean, it's the defense. Just again, hats off to them bailing us out several times there. The defense is going to be good enough to keep us in a lot of games, and the offense with Aiden Childs is also good enough to keep us in a lot of games too. The big playability is there. The touchdown play is back in the playbook. So I think we feel this is a tough one to swallow. There's a lot to be hopeful for, but man, I keep going back to that Nate Carter drop pass. I mean, it's not like it was like a bad pass that he had to stumble for. It was like literally I couldn't have walked it over to him and placed it in a better spot. I have to think Kayvon Lynch-Adams makes that catch, unfortunately, but
yeah. I've noticed Carter dropping some pretty catchable balls. That's one of the drawbacks this year.
It's just they got to get the run game going too. Like, the offensive line is just not getting it done. And I get it; it's banged up. They're on their 3rd or 4th right guard. I think we had Stanton Ramel was in at tackle for most of the game.
I think they moved Baldwin to right guard.
Yeah, they did.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So was Fancher? Was he not? I thought he was going to get the snaps at right guard.
That's what they said during the press conference last week. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't notice what he played or if he played, but
yeah. So that's another situation to monitor is that the rotation, how they're going to work that out. But they've got to get it going.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't like dominating, moving off the ball, but I felt like overall in the trenches we did okay as far as playing physical when we hadn't really been tested that way. But it's still got to be better.
Yeah, and the play action is there. Like the deep passes on the play action, the naked boost, the tight end. It's effective enough to open up some opportunities in the play action, but like in a game versus Ohio State, you want to have sustained drives to keep that offense off the field as long as possible. You need the run game to, you need 4 or 5 yards on first down, and then 2 or 3 yards on second down, instead of third and short. Like you need to keep the offense on the field. So that their offense is off the field. Michigan State got turned into a game where Ohio State's offense gets like 7 possessions total.
Yeah. Probably score 49 points there, but
yeah, you're probably right. Yeah,
Watch it.
Yeah. So with that, we want to jump into Ohio State really quickly.
Let's do it.
And then finish business on Boston College.
I mean, okay, so not quite unfinished business, but I do love it's actually a good thing that we lost take. So just for this, 2025, it's December 2025, Big Ten championship against Ohio State. We have a game-winning drive. Childs remembers this moment where he played hero ball and threw the interception. He just throws the ball out of bounds. Next play, run play, touchdown. So we will be laughing.
All we can hope for.
We will be laughing at the moment in years to come.
Yeah, and Childs is the guy to take these things very seriously. He wears that. You have to think he learns from this. I think there's obviously tons of coaching opportunities. So if he's the guy that we think he is, he's going to learn from this, bounce right back, which he has already done a couple times this season. So, all right. Well, speaking of bouncing back, the Spartans will bounce back next week at home, or this week at Ohio State, or at home against Ohio State. Night game, 7:30 in East Lansing on Peacock. We did something a little different this week. Did something a little different this week. We actually had one of our colleagues from the College Huddle official podcast for Ohio State, the OHIO podcast, on for a preview of this game. Chris came on again from the OHIO podcast. He took a pretty deep dive into Ohio State. He took it for quite the walk, in a great way. So he gets in pretty deep on everything from the Ohio State perspective. That'll be released as another episode this week, following shortly after this one. But obviously, we want to preview it from our side. A game that Michigan State has struggled with, a team that Michigan State has struggled with, I should say. Dating back to 2017, we've lost by an average of 34.5 points. Ohio State is average like over 40 points in those games.
Woo!
Favored by 24 in this one. ESPN has it as a 92.8% win percentage for Ohio State. Obviously, we know all of the talent they have over there. But Nikki, give me your early thoughts here heading into this one.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, it would have been nice if we had a winnable game after a loss like that. After talking earlier, doing our preview, they're really good. Ohio State seems really good. I guess my keys to victory, as you were saying earlier, Just keep their offense off the field as long as possible. Long, sustained drives. You need a run game for that. Okay. Not a good sign. Again, just keep the game slow. Do not beat ourselves. They do not need any help.
Right.
So we help them. We could give their entire team laxatives. And we could put Kenneth Walker will be playing in Detroit on Monday. So he's 5'9", 219 pounds. Nate Carter is 5'10", 214 pounds, pretty similar sized. We just stick him in there for a quarter wearing Nate Carter's jersey, just for a quarter. And just
no one knows.
No one will even notice. Nobody will know. Have a couple scores there. Slow them down. I don't know if we'd win still. But yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those games. We've been saying it all year. We've said it 15 times today. Aiden Childs is going to win you games. Aiden Childs is going to lose you games.
Yeah.
Maybe this would be a game. Maybe this would be a great game for him to win us.
Yeah. No question. No question. Trav, any thoughts on your end?
Well, I think those would probably be less keys to victory and more keys to not getting blown out by halftime. That's what we're aiming for. That's what we're aiming for this year. Yeah. I mean, if you listen to what Chris was telling us, we're fucked. But I mean, he's rattling off all these guys that are on their second team that would be starting for us, probably all Big Ten for us and stuff like that. So,
right.
But you know, we've definitely got our work cut out. The defense has been great so far, but this is by far the biggest test. I mean, Will Howard, 795 yards, completing almost 70% of his passes. Judkins and Henderson have like 300 yards rushing each already. They're combined for 9 touchdowns. I mean, and their receiving core is just all over the place with Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Ibuka. I mean, it's just there's not a lot to say, honestly. It's an uphill battle, and hopefully our defense can step up a little bit and our offense can start converting some stuff, especially in the red zone, and a few more accurate passes, less turnovers. So that's the way to do it, and hopefully they can get it done. But you know, where we are now, who knows? I mean, we really know, but we're being hopeful.
Yeah. Both sides of the ball are going to have to step up, no doubt about it. I mean, the defense, I think it's a great opportunity for them. I think Ohio State's coming in. They've played Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall, all at home. Basically 3 preseason games. This is really their first test on the road. What should be a pretty strong Spartan Stadium crowd. I think the key for me is if you can make Will Howard uncomfortable early, put him in a position that they haven't been in this season, hit him in the mouth, maybe a turnover early, couple sacks, just make him uncomfortable. I mean, this is something that they haven't had to deal with all season. They've probably been running plays like, who wants to score the next touchdown? You want to score now? Okay, go ahead. Like that, they might even let Will Howard call the plays half the time in these games. I have no idea. But they haven't been tested yet. So I think you can make them uncomfortable early, catch them sleeping a little bit. Then all of a sudden you're up or you're right in it. And who knows what happens from there. I think that's just how you got to do it. And then we talked about keeping their offense off the field as much as possible, sustaining drives. And for the love of God, when you're in the red zone, score touchdowns, because field goals are not going to win this game.
No. They weren't good enough to beat Boston College. They're not going to be good enough to beat Ohio State.
Exactly.
Simple. And you gotta capitalize on all the opportunities you get, because they're not going to get a lot against these guys.
Right. Yep. No question. But I really would just like to be in the game come halftime. Even halftime would be great. I would love to be in it the third or fourth quarter. If it's just within a score, like just to make it feel like we're in this thing, that'd be great.
Yeah. We're working on making baby steps here.
That's right.
Nothing. Progress is all we're after. If we get more, great.
Yeah.
Look like we belong on the same field.
Exactly.
Yeah. Make Will Howard beat us with his arm. I think he can do that. Unfortunately.
Yeah. And their run game with Chip Kelly, they're going to throw everything they've got. It's going to be
at least
tough matchup.
We're going to see what our run defense has got. It's rated pretty highly. It's been pretty good.
Yep.
Jonathan Smith should be pretty familiar with the Chip Kelly offense, though. That would be good.
Yeah. And Joe Rossi familiar with Ohio State and Ryan Day's MO.
Well, right.
So look, it's it's not a great bounce back, but for us here. But who knows what happens?
It's going to be a hell of a month.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But stay and of course, stay healthy. If you could play a good game here, get some confidence going into Oregon, maybe play a good game there, and then you're ready for a win by the time you get to Iowa after the bye week, and you're hungry, hopefully healthy, and then we get into kind of like the second half of the schedule. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think this team has tons of good football in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just have a hard time believing that we're not going to win one of the next 4 games, if not 2.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap my head around it. Like, just see how we played pretty darn well, and there's a lot of it's everything feels negative right now because of the way we lost that game, but big picture, the team is playing well. It even with these injuries, found ourselves on the road against a team that is right there in terms of being ranked in a game they should have won. So hopefully they can make it happen again.
And it doesn't feel like it does feel shitty, but it doesn't feel as shitty as the past couple of years.
No, gosh, not even close.
Not at all. It's not even comparable, even with the loss. That's just. I guess this team and their drive and their passion and what Coach Smith is doing with that culture deserve a lot of credit for that, even though it's really early.
Agreed.
Yeah, last year we would get on here and we would be like, "There's no positives to take away from those games."
Nope.
No, but now the team,
is it basketball season yet? Do we have a new coach?
Right.
Man, things really, really sad.
The past couple of years, the team just had no identity either on either side of the ball, and now we have such a clear identity. Now it's such a breath of fresh air in terms of the brand of football that's being played.
The identity was sucking.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But anyways, we get into a pretty good deep preview on OSU. I'm not joking when I tell you it is full of details like you wouldn't believe in terms of the OSU side of things. So be sure to check that out, listen to it. Chris from the OHIO podcast is super knowledgeable and some pretty good anecdotes and stats as well. So be sure to check that out when it gets released later on this week. Before we move on to Miss the Vis, any parting words in terms of Ohio State or what we can do Friday or Saturday, I should say?
Let's just see where it goes.
No.
Who knows?
Stay healthy. Have fun.
7:30 Peacock. Ivy's sister's getting married that night, so I may be watching on my phone. That the last time I watched on my phone,
turned out well.
We ended up winning. So, yeah. So hopefully that luck will come back.
Actually, I do have a quick question.
Sure, please.
Like if we somehow found out a way to win, that would be so incredible. Would you take that? Would you rather beat Ohio State or Michigan?
Michigan.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's still Michigan, and you get to shut those guys up. Like Ohio State's not as annoying about it.
It would just feel so incredible to beat Ohio State.
It
There's
would.
something
It would be more annoying to lose to Michigan, but like beating Ohio State is just like, I mean, probably two out of my three favorite wins of all time were against Ohio State.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think it depends really how good Michigan is. I don't really
I'm not
look.
sold.
I get a ton of joy in beating Michigan regardless of how good they are.
Mhm.
But it's more fun when we beat them when they're good, like when
Yeah.
it's kind of like ruining their season. And I think USC should be so embarrassed they lost that game to Michigan on Saturday.
They weren't ready for the physicality in the first half. Their D line was getting run over.
Yeah, total egg from USC. Michigan had like 30 yards passing.
32. Yeah.
32. Unbelievable.
32.
To lose that game. Embarrassing.
I think we can beat them.
I do too. I do too.
That's why I would rather beat them, because I don't want to lose that.
I wish we would play them this week.
Your scenario kind of assumes we lose to Michigan. So I would rather not lose to that shitty team. If they're a good team, then fine.
This would be a great week to play them. Although hopefully we'll be healthier when we play them.
Yeah. Okay, but I'm sorry.
Missed the vet.
Good question. All right.
No, it was
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Miss the Vis.
All right. So this is a good one.
Miss the Vis, and I cut you off. Sorry, Willie.
That's all right.
So this one, obviously, since we had a heartbreaking loss, I'm going to do just a list of heartbreaking losses. I'm going to give you a couple of hints. I'm going to give you the score first and a hint, and if you need the year, I'll give you the year. You're going to guess the team. Jesus. So I had to watch all of these. I watched like the ending or like the worst parts of all of these games today, and it really annoyed me.
How many are there?
There are like 12 or so, and the earliest one is, I'll just start with the earliest one. So they go until last season, so there aren't many this season. So, and the first one, this is going to be the most recent one.
Most recent.
The least recent, the oldest one.
The oldest one, okay.
This 40-37 loss. MSU choked on their applesauce.
That score sounds like it was the Northwestern.
Nope, it
Not
was
that.
2006 Notre Dame.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that was that's the oldest one. So the next one, the score is, let's see, okay, 27-24. There was an epic collapse, and I'll just say the name Tyrell Henry.
Oh, okay. Wow, I was about to get that wrong then.
2023.
This is 2023?
So last year.
Okay. So that would have been Rutgers.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
All right. 39-31. A missed chip shot had us go to overtime.
Oh.
Let me know if you need the year.
Yeah, give me the year on that one. I can see it.
Away, but 2022. Two years ago.
Yeah. Was that the Indiana game?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't think it was that high scoring. That's why I didn't guess it the first time. Okay.
All right. So this score, 40-29, made us say, oh, okay, so our secondary is really bad.
I'm gonna need the year on that one too.
This might give it away. 2021.
Oh, Purdue. Yeah. Did.
And then this one made us say the score was 56-7, and it said, "Oh wow, Schwartz secondary really sucks."
I believe that was the Ohio State game where we all left at halftime.
Yep, 2021. I think it was the first quarter. This next
I was
one,
halftime in that game. So, but
that's
yeah.
fair. So the next one, I'm going to be a little bit older. 2009, Kirk Cousin throws an end zone interception. We lost 33-30.
Notre Dame.
Yep. This next one, here's a hint. Score 42-39 was one of the worst days ever. Flopped punt.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Big Ten championship. Yep.
2011 Big Ten championship.
Next one, 17-13, pass interference.
Notre Dame.
Yep.
The
Next
one game
one,
we lost that year.
This one, a little bit more recent, 37-34. Another epic collapse, and I had a lot of people saying, I think it might be time for a change. Don't know if you need the year.
Yeah, go with the year on that one.
2019.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
Illinois.
Should have known that one. Yeah.
This next one, all right, we have 3 left.
Okay.
This score was 39-31, and it went to triple overtime on the road. Let me know if you need the year.
Yeah.
2017.
Okay.
Oh, I remember this one.
I do, but I can't remember who it was against. Okay, 39-31, triple overtime, 2017. Is that Northwestern?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, 2 more. This one, 39-38. Should have been pass interference.
Nebraska.
Yep, 2015. And the final one, this one, heartbreaking, might be a little bit of an overstatement, but this loss really annoyed me. I just realized the hint gives it away. The score was 49-37, and it was 2014. Took away our Big Ten title hopes.
What year did you say it was?
2014.
2014.
Our junior year.
That was Ohio State.
Yep.
Yeah.
The hint was JT Barrett is God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they were picking on Darian Hicks all game.
But yep, so you got, I think you got all those.
I got a lot of them. I missed 1 or 2.
I think you might have missed
2 or 3.
2006 Notre Dame.
3 of them, I think. Yeah.
2 or 3, yeah.
So, kids know that you remember the misery.
It's interesting to try to pull it when you're just giving me the score.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Especially some of them are the same score.
Yeah, I think I probably just needed to give you the year each time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, ready for picks?
Cue the music.
Let's go.
All
It's
right,
definitely week 5, but yeah.
Yes, it is week 5. Quick update on the standings. Nick after a 7-6 week, last week is in first place at 26-29, so inching closer to that 500 mark. Travis went 6-7 last week. He's at 25-30, just one game back of Nick. And I went 7-6 last week as well. I am trailing behind Nick by 5 games at 21-34. Big slate this week. A couple games that I wanted to make sure we picked. I'm going to start down in Coral Gables. Down in Coral Gables, the Virginia Tech Hokies are traveling to Miami to take on the Hurricanes, who are coming in 7th ranked. Miami favored by 19 in that one.
Yeah, not doubting Miami. Cam Ward is balling right now.
Miami. Guantacine, Miami.
I am going to take Miami as well. I think Trevi hit it nail on the head. Cam Ward is white hot right now. That game is a Friday night game. Another Friday night game. We've got a Big Ten action. One of the newer teams to this great conference, Washington Huskies, are traveling to Piscataway, New Jersey, all the way across the country for a Friday night game against the Rutgers Knights. Scarlet Knights, I should say. Rutgers is favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I'll take Rutgers. Don't know much about Washington this year, and traveling across country is not usually very good.
I think Rutgers as well, just because every team we play this year has to be like surprisingly good.
I am going to take Rutgers as well. I like them again at home against the West Coast team there. If USC is any indication of how the West Coast teams are going to play on the road, that's doesn't bode well for them. All right, moving on over to the SEC quickly here. I don't think we've picked very many Ole Miss games. The Kentucky Wildcats are traveling to the Grove to take on the 6th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss is favored by 17.5.
That's a big line, but I'll take Ole Miss anyway. Why not?
I'm sorry, I missed. Who was Ole Miss playing?
Kentucky.
You know what? They played Georgia pretty tough. I'll go Kentucky.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I am going to go I think Lane Kiffin likes to pour it on. I'm going to go Ole Miss.
He does.
The points. Okay. Back to the Big Ten here. Our awful rival school coming off a win of a game that they had no business winning. They will take on the Golden Gophers, and you guessed it, it's in Ann Arbor. The gutless, spineless, awful human beings they are just refuse to leave Ann Arbor before it turns to fall. Here we are. It's almost the end of September. They have not played an away game yet. Michigan State has played 2. Minnesota traveling to Michigan. Michigan 12th ranked. Michigan favored by 9.
I can't say that I see Minnesota winning that one, but I will never pick Michigan.
You know,
I have, but I won't do it again.
Back at home, I mean, I can't even call it back at home because they never left. Those just spineless, disgusting, putrid, stinky skunks Wolverines are just going to take out the trash of the younger brethren of the Minnesota. They don't have Joe Rossi anymore, so their defense sucks. And Michigan just is afraid to. They're just going to win, and it's going to be disgusting. Going to offend multiple cultures.
Yeah, I feel like I've been wrong on Michigan all year. I don't think I've won one of the games that they've been in when I picked against them and when I picked for them. I'm going to take Michigan here at home versus a Minnesota team that's I think is inferior. All right, over to the Big 12. Good one here. 20th ranked Oklahoma State travels to Manhattan, Kansas, to take on the 23rd ranked Kansas State Wildcats. Kansas State is favored by 4.5 in this one.
Yeah, I think Kansas State at home after getting spanked last week is going to be pretty angry. I'll go with the Wildcats on that one.
It's tough to bet against the Wildcats when they play in the Big Apple.
I am going to go with Kansas State as well. I think that at home, I really like the way that offense runs with that quarterback. Coming off a loss, I'll take them there as well. All right, Big Ten game. Maryland travels to Indiana to take on a surging Indiana Hoosiers team. Neither team is ranked in this one. Indiana probably getting close. Indiana's favored by 7.
I'm going to take Maryland just because I don't want Indiana to have anything good.
I was going to do the same. Damn. I feel like we're all picking very same on this one. I guess I'll be contrarian and I'll go Indiana. I'll keep running, but I'm sick of them already.
I too am very sick of Indiana, but I think they're rolling right now. I'm gonna pick them to win this game by more than 7. All right, a ACC matchup here. Louisville, 15th ranked Louisville, travels to the halls that Touchdown Jesus built to take on the 16th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Notre Dame is favored by 6.
I'm going to pick Louisville.
Ooh. I'm going to go Notre Dame.
I am going to go Notre Dame as well. I think they got back on the right track with that big win against Purdue. Not sure what happened against Northern Illinois, but hopefully they're shaking that off and can take down the Cardinals from Louisville. All right, Oklahoma coming off a tough loss against Tennessee, travels to Auburn to take on the Tigers. Oklahoma road favorites here, favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take Oklahoma and Frisco, Texas native Michael Hawkins, quarterback, taking them down.
Yeah, why not?
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Oklahoma too. Auburn is struggling this year. Let's see. All right. Big game this week. We go to the SEC. Well, I guess we were just in the SEC. We're staying in the SEC. The second-ranked Georgia Bulldogs travel to Tuscaloosa, Alabama to take on the fourth-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Georgia coming in as 2-point favorites. This is another game that is right smack dab in the middle of Ivy's sister's weddings, so lucky me. Travis, what do you
got? This game's kind of a toss-up, but I'll go with Georgia. I've been saying pretty much all year that it's Georgia and everyone else, but I can see this one going either way. But I will stick with the Bulldogs.
Caden DeBoer, welcome to the SEC. You're going down. It's going to be Georgia by multiple scores.
Ooh.
I am going to take Alabama here.
I'm going to fucking kill you.
I just realized I've been picking all favorites, so I'm going to take Alabama to cover the spread at home. All righty. Back to the Big Ten. The surging 19th ranked Illinois Fighting Illini. I talk about another team I'm tired of hearing about. Led by Brett Bielema, traveled to Penn State, who is 9th ranked. Penn State favored by 18.5 in Happy Valley.
Oh my God.
Who the fuck set that line? Jeez. Okay. Talk about two teams we're tired of hearing about. That seems big, so I'm going to go with Illinois. Unfortunately, yeah.
I know I'm between a rock and a hard place here because again, they both insist upon themselves. To me, this feels like an MSU 2017 situation going to Ohio State, and when everyone thought, oh, 17, that's way too high, and we just lost by like 40. But I don't know if Penn State is the Ohio State level that can just do that. But I'm going to go Penn State.
Yeah, a really tough one here. The line seems too big, but I think that's sketchy for that reason. I'm going to take Penn State at home, even though I have no trust in James Franklin. You know what? I'm going Illinois. I just changed my mind.
James Fraudlin.
I picked too many favorites this week. Illinois plus 18.5. Lock it in for Willie. Okay. Florida State travels to SMU coming off a big win in the, the Iron Skillet Bowl?
Battle for the Iron Skillet. Yeah.
Battle for the Iron Skillet. They put up over 60 points on TCU. Florida State coming off their first win against Cal. Again, Florida State is on the road here. SMU favored by 5.5.
I'm going to take my allegiances. Yeah. Ponies.
It's a big allegiance week. I'm going to go SMU as well.
I think this is a letdown spot for SMU, and I'll pick with my allegiances, and I'll take Florida State plus 5.5. All right, not really sure why I put this game on here, but Arizona at number 10, Utah favored by 11.
Don't go with Zona.
Same.
I will go with Utah. All right. Another game probably didn't need to be put on here, but Oregon, two new Big Ten teams. Number 8, Oregon, 24-point favorites at UCLA.
Quack. Ducks.
Yeah, UCLA is
bad.
You go Oregon.
Yeah, I'm going to take Oregon as well. I really do not like what I'm seeing from UCLA. All right. Of course, got the Lions game this week. Monday Night Football in Seattle. Lions traveling to take on the Seahawks. Lions are favored by 3.5 on the road.
Isn't the game in Detroit?
I thought it was in Seattle. Let me double check. That game is at Detroit.
It's in Detroit.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Lions at home minus 3.5.
That makes a little bit of a difference. I think, we don't play the Seahawks very well, and we are beat up. But forward down the field, here we go again.
Look, after Kenneth Walker's done at Michigan State on Saturday, he's not gonna have much left in the tank. We cannot lose to the Seahawks again. Like, we just cannot lose to the Seahawks. We are winning this game and we are covering.
Couldn't be right there more with you there more, Nikki. I think Lions have some business to take care of. I know they're banged up. Bye week following this one, I believe. And hopefully at home with the best fans in football, tied for the best fans in football with Michigan State fans. I think the Lions can get it done. All righty. The one we've all been waiting for, the game of the week, the granddaddy of them all, the Ohio State Buckeyes traveling to East Lansing to take on the school that's known to all, the Michigan State Spartans. The Buckeyes are coming in as pretty heavy favorites. They're favored by 24. Travis, start with you. Score, pick and score.
Yeah, unfortunately, we will not be living up to our specialty this week, as that song goes on to say. I am going to go Buckeyes 45, Spartans 20.
So Buckeyes to cover?
Yes, they do.
just for a little bit of fun, I'm going to say Buckeyes don't cover. And I'm going to say the score is going to be Buckeyes win 28-13.
This is tough. I am going to pick MSU to cover. It's going to be close, though. I think Buckeyes 38, Michigan State 17.
That's a pretty good score.
All right. There you have it, folks. Those will be the picks. We'll see how we did next week. That'll do it for this show. A reminder to go to also listen to the OSU preview with Chris from the OHIO podcast. That'll be released shortly after this one. You can find the Spartan Savants anywhere you listen to podcasts, on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. The link is all down below on the scroll. Follow us on Instagram. Doesn't take very long to subscribe. And you can keep up to date with all your Michigan State news, info, takes, and any bits that you may stumble upon along the way. Hopefully a good bounce back week for us, and keep it close for Ohio State. Any parting thoughts?
Cost you nothing to subscribe and follow, and also shout out to the College Huddle. So,
yep, of course. All right. Well, with that, I will see you guys next week, and we will hopefully see all our listeners next week as well. Go Green.
Go White. 11-1.